Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
Spirit of the Golden Empire. This is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Right now at 5, the United States sets another record for new coronavirus cases, and Governor Gavin Newsom is ordering new closures for many counties across the state, including right here in Kern County.
One of the sectors affected, restaurants, many who had just barely reopened. Local business owners react to the new round of closures. We'll break down what the new regulations say.
And the president says he has a new message about masks. He says he thinks they're a good thing. What he had to say about wearing one coming up on this Thursday, July 2nd, 2020. Good morning, and thanks so much for waking up and starting your day with us on this Thursday, this Friday Junior. I'm Alex Fisher along with Maddie Jansen. And Maddie, we are just one more day closer to Friday, but for a lot of people, today is their Friday. They get tomorrow off.
I know, 4th of July coming up on Saturday. Alyssa and I were talking about it this morning, and it just really snuck up on me, and probably a lot of other people as well, because we're so off of our routines right now. Let's see what kind of weather we're looking at as we head into this holiday weekend. Alyssa's in again for Kevin this morning.
Yes, and it did sneak up on us. It feels like we just had a holiday with Memorial Day, so it showed up real fast. As we take a look here, watching for dry conditions this morning up and down the state. We are cloud-free. Then in the Pacific Northwest, there are some showers, and those are going to continue to head eastward. So cold front from yesterday, barely noticeable here other than a little bit of windiness last night, and now today. Temperatures here are a little bit cooler in some of the outlying areas. 60 in Wasco, 74 in Bakersfield, 72 in Arson, and we are in the upper 40s in the mountains. Over in Lake Isabella, 61 degrees. Taking you out the door this morning should be nice. 74 at 7 a.m. and then we have 90s on the way once again. I think temperatures will be down just a few degrees today, so we'll be pretty seasonal in those lower 90s in the valley and in the mountains, topping out in the lower 80s. Much more on the weekend ahead in Pinpoint Weather.
All right, thanks, Alyssa. The United States not heading in the right direction. On Wednesday, the U.S. set a new high for new coronavirus cases reported in a single day, according to Johns Hopkins University. John Lawrence reports.
There were more than 50,000 new COVID-19 cases reported in the U.S. Wednesday, according to Johns Hopkins University. Nearly 2.7 million Americans have been confirmed to have the virus.
The numbers don't lie. Clearly, there's been explosive growth, and you know, if you double the numbers every couple of days, you can get to a large number very, very quickly.
Although many states are halting or rolling back reopening plans ahead of the July 4th holiday weekend, the White House is trying to keep an optimistic view.
The president's confident that it'll disappear. He's confident that he's put together a revolutionary first-class team that is going to break through bureaucracy and get us a vaccine.
But some medical experts say the U.S. needs to address this matter now.
What we have to do now is get every American to wear a mask, get every American to social distance, to cancel all outdoor mass gatherings, and to ramp up our testing like crazy.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
And orders from Governor Gavin Newsom, California and Kern County taking a step back as more restrictions are put in place following a surge in COVID-19 cases. Yesterday, Governor Newsom announced closures for 19 counties where coronavirus cases continue to rise. That includes here in Kern County. The governor's order shuts down indoor activities for restaurants, movie theaters, museums, and other businesses. Bars were ordered to close immediately. The governor says the curve needs to bend again.
California, unlike some others, we were successful in bending that curve. We will be successful again in bending this new curve, but know that the success bought us time to build capacity and to build our ability to respond to those in crisis, those in need.
Kern is one of those counties impacted by Governor Newsom's new restrictions. Here's how business owners are reacting. Restaurants like Angry Barnyard will have to shut their dining room doors once again. Employees said they expected new restrictions, but not a shutdown of their indoor dining room.
Barbecue restaurants in town can attest to this. We cook our meats the night beforehand, so whatever we have for the next day, that's all we have. So there's so much prep and time that goes into it the day before that to shut us down effective immediately is sort of crazy. You know, it definitely
The owner says the last time the country started shutting down businesses, well, they saw their costs skyrocket. Now she worries what this shutdown could do to her business. Other local restaurants and bars already announcing on social media they'll be closing for the next 3 weeks due to the governor's orders.
Let's go over what is closed as of now. Restaurants, wineries, and tasting rooms, movie theaters, and other forms of commercial family entertainment. Museums, zoos, and card rooms are also supposed to close. And the governor ordered bars, pubs, and breweries to stop all operations. All of this focused on the 19 counties that have been on the state's watch list to monitor communities that have not met the state standards for curbing COVID-19. As we've reported before, Kern has been on that watch list for at least 2 weeks. Now to the latest on the coronavirus cases in Kern County. All of this comes as we learn 6 more people have died from the virus. That grim update coming from the Public Health Department yesterday. Our death toll in Kern now stands at 76. Health officials reported 113 new coronavirus cases. That brings the total to just under 4,800. Our current peak is June 17th, when we saw 165 cases confirmed that day alone. That was 2 weeks ago. Right now, 104 people are isolated in local hospitals, and according to the state, 53 people are in the ICU. Our county's ICU capacity is 71 beds. We are about 3.5 weeks from reaching our ICU capacity, according to local health projections.
The Department of Motor Vehicles closed one of its offices after an employee tested positive for COVID-19. The employee works at the office on F Street downtown. The DMV says it closed for cleaning after learning about the positive result. The office is set to open back up today. And Sandrini's in downtown Bakersfield posted on Facebook that it has closed until next Monday as well after a staff member was exposed to the virus outside of the restaurant. They're taking extra precautions going beyond the recommended CDC guidelines. The post goes on to say, quote, "We always want to be open for you, but let's stay safe together. Please stay tuned."
Your time now is 5:07, and the Kern County Fire Chief is speaking after Tuesday's Board of Supervisors meeting. You may recall much of the meeting was centered around eliminating firefighter overtime payments above federal standards. Firefighters can still make overtime, and their base pay has not been cut. Supervisors Perez, Maggard, and Gleason voted in favor of what the county labeled the last, best, and final offer for the union representing the firefighters. County staff argued the new overtime standards would save the county about $3.5 million and would free up funds for new fire equipment. Yesterday, Chief David Witt said he is remaining optimistic about the future of the Kern County Fire Department.
We're going to go forward in a positive way. We're going to give a great product to the citizens of Kern County. We're going to do everything we can. Some things may change. But we're going to do everything we can to continue to do what we do with a smile on our face and serve the public.
Chief Witt went on to thank Chief Administrative Officer Ryan Alsop and the board for prioritizing funding for new fire equipment. 2nd District Supervisor Zach Scrivener was the only supervisor who voted against the legislation, and 4th Supervisor David Couch abstained from the vote, noting he wanted the discussion continued into the closed and afternoon sessions. We have posted Couch's full statement on our website, kget.com.
School may be out for the summer, but there was still a chance for students to shine. Last night, the Kern High School District hosted the 2020 Peak Awards online. The 10th annual event promotes excellence in activities and athletics in Kern. Hundreds of students are recognized in dozens of categories, covering everything from athletics to music and more. For a complete list of the winners, go to our website, kget.com, and click the hot link icon.
The large neon sign marking the location of the Sinaloa Mexican restaurant was taken down yesterday. Sinaloa on 20th Street closed last year after 70 years of operation. The restaurant first opened in 1948 at the location, now occupied by Wool Growers Restaurant. It moved in 1957 to 910 20th Street, where it served classic Mexican dishes until closing in January 2019. I remember going to that to Sinaloa as a kid, and I always loved that restaurant. It was always neat going into that house as well. It was always a neat experience. Sad to see that go, especially that iconic sign.
Yeah, it was definitely a unique ambiance inside.
Welcome back. A man is behind bars on murder and arson charges in connection with the death of a woman whose body was found inside a burning home. The fire happened Tuesday morning off Cottonwood Drive near Ridgecrest Boulevard. Kern County firefighters found the body while searching the home for occupants. Ridgecrest police say 57-year-old George Smith Jr. is accused of killing the woman, then lighting the house on fire. The woman's identity has not been released. Smith is due in court later today. A local man is under arrest 3 days after allegedly trying to run over deputies in East Bakersfield. That happened on June 24th. The sheriff's office says deputies had received an alert about a stolen vehicle near Bakersfield College. The suspect was found on Shattuck Avenue, but allegedly he drove off, nearly hitting the deputies. KCSO says they chased the suspect to Robinson Street, but the man got out of the car, hopped the fence, and escaped across Highway 178. Deputies arrested their suspect 3 days later. He's been identified as George Lopez and is now booked on several charges. Tehachapi is the latest city to cancel its July 4th fireworks show, but there are a couple of celebrations still happening this year. You can head to our website, kget.com, and click the hot link icon to find them. And we should note that Governor Gavin Newsom recommends celebrations be canceled in counties on the state's COVID-19 watch list. That includes Kern County. We'll update the list if anything changes. And fireworks stands are back open in Kern County even as COVID-19 looms over the 4th of July. We swung by a few and they didn't seem too busy, but that is expected to change in the coming days. The American Pyrotechnics Association president says sellers are expecting record sales this year, mostly because official shows are being canceled and people are most likely going to be celebrating at home. Illegal fireworks continue to be a growing issue in Kern County. The Bakersfield Fire Department released a website to report illegal fireworks being used. You can also download the City Fire app to file a report. Meantime, Kern County Fire has already established a website. All this information can be found on our website, kget.com. Just click on the hot link icon. Once again, highway patrol officers will be on the lookout for drunk drivers. CHP announced a maximum enforcement period for the holiday weekend. It all starts tomorrow night at 6 and lasts through Sunday at midnight. CHP warns people who have been speeding more often recently, and with citations up 173% during Memorial Day weekend. CHP says the 4th of July enforcement period is shorter this year, but in 2019, 36 people died in 4 days, and more than 1,300 people were arrested for driving under the influence.
President Trump is denouncing the Russian bounty scandal as a hoax, even though his administration is preparing to brief congressional leadership on it later today. Meanwhile, President Trump has shifted tone in support of wearing masks as coronavirus cases continue to surge at a record-setting pace. Alice Barr has more.
Good morning, Maddie. President Trump calling reports of the alleged Russian bounties a hoax, even as his national security advisor says the administration was developing options to respond if necessary. President Trump dismissing allegations that Russia paid the Taliban to target U.S. troops in Afghanistan in his first interview since the explosive story broke, insisting he was not initially briefed because the intelligence is in dispute.
The intelligence people many of them didn't believe it happened at all. I think it's a hoax.
The president's national security advisor saying a top CIA official decided not to inform him.
If it could be corroborated, then we'd have options to go to the president with.
Despite downplaying the threat, the Trump administration now set to brief congressional leadership later today.
I want to see this president, this White House say that they will get to the bottom of this.
He calls it a hoax. Same thing, he called COVID-19 a hoax. He said it will disappear.
President Trump now repeating that claim.
I think that at some point that's going to sort of just disappear.
That's despite record high cases in 14 states this week, forcing beaches and bars to close heading into the holiday weekend. The president did signal a rare message in support of masks.
I'm all for masks. I think masks are good. I would wear, if I were in a group of people and I was close.
You would wear one?
Oh, I would. Oh, I have. I mean, people have seen me wearing one.
President Trump still resisting making masks mandatory, despite his own health officials' pleas to wear them to slow the spread. Hospitals in some coronavirus hotspots are beginning to run out of space and supplies. In hard-hit Houston, one doctor telling NBC News if cases there peak this month, he does think they'll be okay, but any surges beyond that would be a bigger problem. In Washington, Alice Barr, 17 News.